I was abroad for 8 days, for 5 organization meetings, or a total of 8 meetings also. And then just got back yesterday. So, in the meantime, there were developments, of course, when we were gone, especially in media, where they were, at least the lawyers representing several suspects, were saying a lot of things about the status of their clients. That's why we are open to discuss all of these things. But before that, I'd like to give you a timeline. Ito, yung timeline. Bibigyan namin kayo ng copy ng timeline so that you will see the flow of how everything transpired. So you will get an idea of what we want to do they have a copy already? Or scan it. Why don't you scan it and just send it to their, you know. Anyway, from March 4 to March 31, many things happened, and now they are talking about recantations, which of course we said in advance already to all of you before that it was going to happen. It was happening already. That they were lawyering up. They were lawyering up already. So that is the result of the presence of new lawyers. Makita niyo sa timeline yan, ha? The massacre happened on March 4. And then 3 suspects were immediately arrested. And then 1 was caught or surrendered, which was Rivero, surrendered on the next day, March 5, early morning. And then they were with the PNP until around March, what is the exact date dito? Kung kailan sila dinala sa NBI? March 8 or March 9? March 7? March 7 dinala sa NBI. On March 7, they were transported to the NBI, the 4 suspects. And then on after that, there were surrenderies. Nag-surrender naman on March 20, sumurrender naman yung iba. And March 21, sumurrender naman yung iba. No? And then March 31, we finally caught up with Marvin Miranda, who we had been pursuing from day 1. And after that, when he was brought to the NBI, the things started to transpire and unravel. That's when a former Undersecretary of the DOJ, Mr. Orseo, started appearing, claiming to be the lawyer of everybody. And it was not even known to Miranda that this was the lawyer. But finally, he found out that this was the lawyer being supplied to him by whoever was supplying him the lawyer. Because in the beginning, he didn't know who his lawyer was. So when Miranda and Orseo started talking, that's when the discussions with the other suspects transpired. And now you can see that Miranda, true to form, as we said, was the director of everything, was the director of the massacre, was again directing the activities around how they were going to make everybody recant. So andun na naman ang papel ni Miranda. True to his billing as a co-principal or co-conspirator and co-principal, co-mastermind together with Congressman Teves. So that's just everybody's behaving just true to form of what they were billed as before. So this timeline will give you an idea of everything. And what we're saying here is that everything is consistent. And the timing of Mr. Miranda's getting captured in March 31 started the process of lawyering up for them. So you'll see that the billing of Mr. Miranda as a co-conspirator, as a principal, as a mastermind exists even to his role inside the NBI detention facilities. And today a hearing was held. Were you in the hearing? Your hearing? Oh. Well, they were there are press releases, and they have been claiming that they were tortured inside the NBI, yet they're asking the court to retain them inside the NBI. I think that is a paradox of sorts. No? It doesn't really happen that way. When you are tortured in one place, I don't think you want to go back to it. But when you say that you want to be retained there, it means that it's a pleasant place. There are no bad memories. It's also a way of they're now asking that they be retained there instead of the commitment order being honored, commitment order to Manila City Jail. They don't want to honor the commitment by saying they were tortured and they want to be retained in the NBI, which is of course, again, a paradox of sorts. Kasi sa City Jail, pantay-pantay na trato sa kanila. Pantay-pantay na trato sa kanila. Everybody is equal before the eyes of the law. Whether this is good or bad, I cannot say because we know how congested these jails are. That's one. No? Well, I don't know yet for the rest of the other suspects on what their position is. But lawyering up, being in contact with Mr. Marvin Miranda inside the NBI has given them a reason to start recanting. And of course, these recantations cannot always be taken lightly in the sense that it is a form of perjury for sure. There is perjury one way or the other. Either they perjured themselves the first time or they're perjuring themselves now. But definitely there is perjury in what they're doing. So a crime has been committed again by these suspects, but we do not know which is the real crime. We are not claiming anything, but what we think is that these stories are being made by spin masters or spin doctors that they have employed. Of course, their choreographer right now is a guy named Attorney Villanueva. He's a lawyer, and in fact, the petition for habeas corpus was filed by Mr. Rivero, but because his lawyer is Attorney Villanueva, we presume it was Attorney Villanueva who prepared the petition for habeas corpus. But he did not sign the petition, which is which shows that it probably was made in bad faith. Because if it was made in good faith, a lawyer will attach his signature all the time. But he did not attach his signature to the petition for habeas corpus. Number one. Number two, the petition was filed out of time because the family of Rivero had already left the witness protection program voluntarily, as evidenced by their letters showing that they are thanking the WPP and seeking admission to the WPP. They were seeking admission to the witness protection program, and then now, after they left, they were thanking the witness protection program. And to tell, the reason why the family refused to see Mr. Rivero is that the wife doesn't want to have anything to do with him because she feels ashamed of what happened in Pamplona. So, it's a way of looking at it. And well, at this point, we have these things that I've already stated. No? The lawyer did not sign the petition in spite of the fact that obviously it was prepared by a lawyer and that they're the ones who are saying in the press releases that there was going to be a petition for habeas corpus. But it was only Rivero who signed it, which of course is suspicious in itself. So now you can see that the spin doctors are at work, and there's a lot of money going around from the side of Mr. Teves. By the way, Mr. Teves, for another story that you may wish to know, is still in Timor-Leste. He's about to leave Timor-Leste because his visa was extended to the petition for the file before the Supreme Court of Timor-Leste asking for the asylum, for it to be reconsidered properly. But he came to Timor-Leste via private jet coming from Singapore. And he has a party of 13 people with him. 13 sila magkakasama, kasama ng kanyang asawa, at yung ibang cohorts niya. No? One of the cohorts that we are investigating is with him by the name of Eric Galiaga. He is under investigation and he's accompanying Mr. Teves in Timor-Leste. And he is suspected to play a very big role in the terrorist organization that they are running. That's for the court. I will not answer that, defend or explain anything. I don't have anything to explain. Everything is presumed to have happened regularly, and that's for the court to appreciate. Hot pursuit is hot pursuit. From day one, we were looking for Mr. Rivero, and he was caught on March 31. From March 4 to March 31, the government was expending resources to look for him, because we knew that he was already the main player there of Mr. Teves in Talaga. So I don't have to explain anything there.
So we need to say, in the part of the government, there was no illegal arrest?
No illegal arrest. Why should there be? It's the government has resources to look for suspects, and it has the means to look for suspects, and we use the resources of government to look for these suspects. And it took a lot of man hours, a lot of toil, sweat, hard, sleepless nights on the part of the pursuing parties, pursuing Mr. Rivero before he was caught. When Miranda was arrested, when he got contact with the suspects, that's when everything started. Nasabihan niya lahat ngayon, magrekanta tayo, o ganito gagawin ko, ito, abogado natin. Ayan. He's a director up to now. Well, Orseo's the lawyer who appeared. In the beginning, that was not known even to Miranda, but only admitted by Miranda after 2 days, when it was clarified to him that there was an order for him to lawyer up with Orseo, the former undersecretary of the DOJ, unfortunately.
Bakit hindi po naisama dito si Congressman Teves sa naipay na kaso ngayon?
Ganun yan eh. Hindi pwede dyan damay-damay. Dapat dyan may specific allegations ka sa bawat suspect. You do not put somebody in a group of people to be charged just because he was there. You have to specify allegations against him. Siyempre kasi ano siya eh, mastermind siya eh. So iba yung action ng mastermind, iba yung action ng mga nag-execute mismo ng command. I don't know. Buti pa kayo, alam nyo eh. Kasi isang recantation lang nakikita namin so far, so we do not even know that, no? So somebody's orchestrating it. May spin doctors talaga. Meron talagang gumagamit ng resources para sirain ang ano ng gobyerno, ang storya ng gobyerno. Tandaan nyo rito, no? We are here for the Filipino people. We're not here for any rich private individual. Ang kakampi namin dito yung masang Pilipino. Hindi namin kakampi dito yung abusadong may poder na umabuso at nagpapatay ng tao. Ang kakampi namin dito yung masang Pilipino. We are for the Filipino people here. We are not on trial here. The one on trial are those who committed the crime of killing 10 people and injuring 17 others. Well, they like to spin their stories in media. Why don't they bring it to court? Because sabi ko nga sa'yo, perjury was committed already. Parang baliwala ba sa inyo ang perjury? When people lie to the court, is it nothing to you? Kasi parang it doesn't mean anything to you. For your information, perjury is a major crime that is committed when one issues sworn statements that is far from the truth. So do not take perjury lightly. When people start lying, there is something wrong with these people.
Sir, inagaganda yung sa mo, may alas pa ba tayong hawak na
Hindi lang naman testimonial eh. Marami tayong evidence na iba eh. May independent physical evidence tayo eh. May independent physical evidence, may circumstantial evidence. Marami tayong ibang ebidensya, hindi lang naman to. Meron pa rin kaming testigo. In fact, in the anti-terror case that we have developed, more than 50 people have come out to witness the terrorism that they experienced.
Sir, masasabi pa rin po bang malakas pa rin ang kaso?
Oh yeah. Of course. Because we will be presenting this in court later on. It is for the court to look at the behavior of these witnesses. Tandaan natin ha, Yung mga taong umiiyak ng torture, mga taong sinasabi na pinahirapan sila, these are professionals. Nakita nyo ba yung videotape kung paano sila pumatay? Anong tingin nyo ng video game? Sa dulo ng baril na yon, yung balang lumipad, may pinatay yun. Baka nakakalimutan nyo. May pinatay yung mga balang yun. Baka akala nyo, video lang yan. Hindi yan video. Patayan nyo, nakita nyo ron. Baka naman nagiging manhid na tayo. Di ba? Sa dulo ng baril na hinawakan nila, these are killers professionals. May pinatay sila ron. Nung lumilipad yung balang yun, may tinatamaan yun. Baka nakakalimutan nyo. It's your duty to report. Well, that's for the... Alam mo yan, we will not make the case here for you. We are here to clarify certain points. And that recantations will not defeat the case of the government. That the government is doing this for the Filipino people, not for a rich individual who, of course, is a gambling lord. Easy money. Daling gumastos ng pera. Pera-pera na lang ba tayo o meron tayong gobyernong maayos? Siguro naman may gobyerno tayong maayos. Magkakasama sila ron They're all there. They're all together. We did not even separate them. Wala kaming ginawa para hiwalay-hiwalayin sila. Fair yun. We treated them fairly. They were treated fairly there. They had contact with each other for sure. Kumakain magkakasama yan. You know, they were mixed around with each other. Unfortunately, we're not like the movies where we can put people in separate cells for special hearings. No, we don't have that facility. We do not have that luxury in our country. Hindi tayo sili rito. Totoong buhay ito. Halo-halo po ang mga prisoners natin.
Secretary, pagiging gambling lord, Congressman Teves, wala pa siyang nakakaligat for gambling.
That's a spin, pero that's not the problem here. The gambling is part of it only, but it's not a motive here. The motive here is really killing people. The crime that we're looking for here is the killing of the people. Gambling is important only because of the resources that they have to expend, that they have to be able to spend on all of these spin masters, spin doctors, and spin lawyers.
Ewan ko lang kung may kinalaman pa rin ito sa kaso ng Degamo. Yung pagkamatay ni Governor Reyes ngayon, ano yung maaaring maging epekto? May epekto ba ito sa kaso?
Well, ano yan ang storya kasi ng Negros Oriental, mahiwaga yan ganun din naging governor si Governor Degamo. Tandaan nyo, ang governor dati ng Negros, si Governor Macias. Namatay si Governor Macias a few days after elections. Ang pumalit sa kanya si Governor Perdices. Nung namatay si Governor Perdices naman, may sakit din, pumalit si Degamo. So ganun talaga nangyari istorya sa kanila. Si Degamo started from board member bago siya naging governor. Ngayon naman, ang nangyari naman dito, namatay si Governor Degamo, pinatay si Governor Degamo, pumalit si Governor Reyes, namatay. Ngayon, first board member, kagaya ni Governor Degamo, ang pumalit. Si board member sa Garparia will be sworn into office very soon. If not yet sworn into office.
And what political affiliation nung?
I have no idea, but probably in NPC. He's the brother of Congressman Chiquiting sa Garparia.
Sir, clarify naman yung police part sa Timor-Leste, so extended visa and there was something about division.
Nasa Supreme Court ng Timor-Leste, kasi nga, nung dinena yung asylum, he lawyered up again and asked the courts to reconsider and to grant him asylum in Timor-Leste. But he came there by private jet, accompanied by 13 people.
Sir, yung kanyang petition pending sa Supreme Court
Yes. But I don't know the implication if the extension of the visa is until the finishing of the case in Timor-Leste. I have no information yet. But chances are the visa was extended. That's why he's still there after now.
Yung up to when hindi rin appears or is it, or meron, was there a date that...
Well, the visa will expire for sure. They don't grant unlimited visas. Nobody does. Probably look for another country, but the world's getting smaller. I'm telling you, it's really part of the difficulty of being a wanted person. You can just go home and face the music here. Wala pa naman siyang warrant of arrest eh. I cannot surmise on that, but I guess that I don't think Timor-Leste would want to grant asylum to a person who is known to be, or at least to us, is a terrorist. Asylum to a terrorist, I don't think you want to do that. It's ongoing. It's ongoing. It's an anti-terror council. They're gathering evidence, and it's being supported by the evidence, as I said earlier. Marami na ho nagte-testify as to the terrorism that has been happening in Negros Oriental.
Sir, other topic lang. Okay lang. Yeah, yung kaso ng pagpatay sa bata sa Las Piñas City, is 50 years old po.
I'm sorry, pero yan, DSWD yan. In cases of that nature, the DSWD is the one that takes cognizance and custody of the person, like the 15-year-old child, no? It's considered a child. And under the law, Child and Youth Welfare Code is amended. Different laws that we have on young offenders, suspended by trial. Maturity, cognizance. Ano ba yan? Meron pa siyang psychological, meron siyang diversion proceedings sa DSWD. Titingnan muna kung may cognitive ability to withstand trial yung bata. If I'm correct.
As ka lang about sa UN Air Force,
Yeah.
sabi niyo sa UNODC na the government wants to review yung RA 916.
Yes. Meron lang, sige, tuloy mo.
Specific regulations na mga marijuana
Marijuana is one. It was a discussion that we had with the ODC. They were saying that there's more than enough evidence to probably liberalize its use. That's the point of view that they're advocating to us. But what we are telling them really is the difference is the big issue that we are putting out to them is the fact that we cannot be liberal with shabu, with methamphetamine hydrochloride, because we are the country in the world. We are probably the most experienced country in the world when it comes to its experience with methamphetamine. Tayo po yung pinakagulpi dyan. 40 years na po tayong dumadaan sa methamphetamine phase, and it's not been easy for the country. And we're explaining to them how the families were touched in this country. That's why if President Duterte got an 87% rating on his exit, and even up to now, it's because shabu is unacceptable to the Filipino people, because we have experiences with that we cannot compromise on. Yun po yung sinasabi namin sa kanila na dapat maunawaan nila, kasi ang Eurocentric, ang European point of view is based on individual rights. Tayo po, ang tingin natin sa mundo, community-based po tayo. We look at our families and we look at the community on what shabu has done, on what methamphetamine has done to us. So doon po ang kailangan naming i-work out with them sa ODC, kasi they should be willing to accept another point of view, not only theirs.
Sir, follow up lang dun sa pag-review and amendment approach natin sa drugs, may sinasuggest kasi ibang groups na maging harm reduction para even though we pursue methamphetamine, there's less casualties, there's less damages to the people. Ganun po kayo naisip na
Not to be able to answer all the questions now. I think it's a process that we have to go through. I cannot claim to know everything. We have to consult the scientists, behavioral scientists, the physical scientists, the medical experts, the pharmacologists, people who will know better than us, because it is not for me to judge that, but it is for me to open the discussion, because it's what is needed in our country right now. Because based on what our experience, we have to review what we have been doing. If it will work, why not? If it will work, why not? So anything that will work in our country, we want that. At least to make, what we want is to make this country a safer place to live in and a better place to live in, whatever it takes.
Aside from the motion to quash, then fight po sa motion to remand, magkaroon ulit ng criminal investigation hearing.
Ano yan eh, alam mo yan, lawyering up yan, tactics yan to delay the process. Kasi yan, pag nagkaroon ng conviction ng gunman dyan, the noose will tighten up on the principal. Kaya delay nila yan. Eh, on the process na eh, nagka-trial na eh. Nagreklamo tayo, ang bagal ng justisya. Ngayon nagka-trial na, inaawat natin. Ano ba talagang dapat? Di ba dapat matuloy na ang trial?
If proven po na they are themselves mga lawyers para expose sa mga suspect to investigate,
No, well, we'll leave it to the IBP. I think the IBP knows what to do with people who do not respect the law and do not respect the process properly. There's a limit to lawyering. There are things that you do not do as a lawyer that is bad for society already. Yes, we will. The proper time will be there for us to do that. Okay? Thank you. Dami yung story, ha?
welcome back po, sir.
Sa akin na yan.
Para sa
Wala na binigay. May pinapako ko yung